Next, we have the WASP plays.
We have a pair of WASP plays.
A pair of WASPs, yes. The Green Hornet recently opened, but we have a few WASPs. We have John Robin Baitz and A.R. Gurney.
Well, Robbie Baitz is not a WASP. Robbie is Jewish, but A.R. Gurney is very much a
Oh,
WASP,
yes.
who always writes about WASP.
Absolutely, yes. He's the quintessential WASP
Right.
writer
Right.
on here. But this is, the Baitz play is Other Desert Cities.
Right.
And this is about a young woman returning home to her family in California. Her father was a prominent right-wing politician, but he and his
A
family...
la Reagan, definitely a la
yes,
Reagan.
Reaganite, yes. But he and his wife, nicely played by Stockard Channing, and the wife's alcoholic sister, well played by Linda Lavin, who I'm not sure you really believe Linda Lavin could be Stockard Channing's sister. I mean, the accents alone.
Well, but the whole
But,
point is that Stockard Channing has become a West Coast writer, and is so terribly, terribly full of it.
A writer?
Yeah, she was a writer of television stuff. She wrote television programs. That's what her job was, and the idea was that she is such a phony that she has no accent. I mean, her accent is just made up. Everything about her is made up. Her hair color is made up. Her face is made up.
The husband is played by Stacy Keach.
Yes.
And basically, the young woman, nicely played by Elizabeth Marvel, has come home because she has written a book about her family and concerning the death of her brother, and it's a real schmear job. Now, we will find out some revelations about what actually happened with the brother at the end of the play.
Which we're not going to give away.
No, we're not.
But we can say that the brother was a left-wing, draft-dodging, war-resisting young man. So you could almost guess what's going to happen with that kind of thing.
Right.
And with a father who's right-wing, with a mother who's a former Jewish lady, now a Texan.
Living in California.
Living in California, and they pal around with the Reagans. And the sister,
Or they did.
the sister Silda, who's still, is that a Jewish name, Silda?
Silda?
Am I making that up? I don't know whether,
I've never heard of that name either.
I wasn't sure what kind of name that was. Anyway, Silda is very much New York,
Right. Linda Lavin.
uptown,
Yes.
Upper West Side, And there's also a young man named Flip. Trip. Not Flip.
Trip. That's,
sorry.
yes.
Trip,
Thomas
what could be
Sadowski,
more-
who is the other brother,
Right.
who is kind of trying to maintain the balance.
And at one point, the mother says, I had 2 children, and her daughter says, you had 3 children. And at my heart, I could feel what that must feel like, to say that to someone.
Here's the thing, though. I just found the performers all were postured, and they had these great dramatic scenes, and the whole thing just felt so phony.
Thank you.
Ironic.
It felt funny to me. Every
And-
critic in New York raved about this play. Raved about it. And
Not
I'm
all
going,
of
what did they...
them.
Well, no, I'm saying major critics in print raved about it, okay? The major print critics raved about it, and even in Theater Mania and a couple of other places raved, and I was so disappointed.
Oh, yes.
I was disappointed because A, it's Robbie Baitz, B, because it was directed by Joe Mantello.
Yes.
I love that couple. They were a couple at one time, but I loved them when they worked together years ago. When they
And
did
look at the
things like-
cast. Stacy Keach as the father.
But I just want to say
Yeah,
that
okay,
when they
sorry.
worked together originally on plays like Substance of Fire, when Robbie wrote really important plays, this is not an important play. But go ahead, talk about the cast because it's an
Stacy
important
Keach
cast.
is the father.
Lovely
Stockard
to see
Channing
them
as the
again.
mother. Linda Lavin at the end. Elizabeth Marvel. Thomas Sadowski.
Right.
Some.
Right.
I actually haven't seen much of Elizabeth Marvel or Thomas Sadowski, but the others I know
Well,
I've seen in many
But
performances.
Tom Sadowski was in that play, The Vibrator Play, or In the Next
Okay.
Room, and I
Elizabeth
believe,
Marvel.
and Elizabeth Marvel is the darling of downtown. She's constantly doing those remakes of plays that strange Ivo Hova director does when he remakes Streetcar Named Desire or The Little Foxes. She's always the star.
Right.
So
But
I've seen a lot of her. This is the first time I've seen her play sort of a normal person.
But Channing, Keach, and Lavin have long
Lovely.
distinguished careers
Lovely.
in film, in theater, really top notch. In fact, Stockard Channing on at Lincoln Center, not at the Mitzi Newhouse, was in one of my favorite plays that I've ever seen there, The House of Blue Leaves.
Oh, coming up again.
Coming
up
which I'm
again,
very much looking
which we'll
forward to.
talk about.
She played
Bunny?
Bunny, yes, opposite Swoozie Kurtz, who played Bananas. So here you have 2 actresses named Stockard and Swoozie playing characters named Bunny and Bananas.
Very good point.
Some poetic justice
And it's
there.
S and S and B and B. Very
But
good
the
point,
bottom
yeah.
line is, I found this very dull. I found it very phony, as I said before.
We've never
I
agreed
did
with
not
each other
enjoy it.
on 2 plays in a row before.
I did not enjoy it at all.
I did not enjoy, but I enjoyed the acting. I didn't enjoy the play. I found the staging to be less than. It opens on this big open California-like beige set,
Yes.
and everybody has a place on that set, and they look like chess pieces on their set. You know, and I'm just going like, what is going on here? Why is so? Based on what I know that these 2 guys are capable of, I was very disappointed. I must say.
Yes.
And again, we're going to be, you know, those kinds of people who write in little comments on the bottom of our thing on YouTube sometimes. You know, we're entitled to our opinion, but I must say that we're really going against the tide on this one.
But you know what? So are you. So
That's
by all
that's
means,
what we're
right in.
That's right.
in.
Right. Tell us how.
Even the critics
Tell
have
us how
critics.
stupid we are. Go
But
ahead.
remember the difference, as my professor Vernon Smith once told me, between constructive criticism and destructive criticism. My friends, constructive criticism is what I give to you, and destructive criticism is what you give to me.
I like that.
Yes.
It makes sense to me.
He was an excellent professor. Let's get to the other
second,
WASP play,
yes,
A.R.
which I
Gurney,
enjoyed
Black
much more.
Tie. Oh, yes.
Enjoyed much more. Not as good a play, and I enjoyed it much more.
Well, no, not as ambitious a play, perhaps.
Yes,
But
very
a
good.
much better play, a much more entertaining play.
Is it because we're sitting on the couch and we're more relaxed that we're just agreeing with each other on all
I don't
this
think
stuff?
so.
I hope not.
I don't think so. I'm sure we'll find
Okay.
something to disagree
Oh,
on
good. All right, coming up. I
sooner
hope. All right.
or later. I don't know.
Okay.
Now, this is about a family, a WASP family, because A.R. Gurney writes about nothing but.
No, he wrote a play about Jews, and he's fascinated by Jews, so he's always got somebody Jewish in the play, and there's somebody. This is not all about WASPs. This play.
Well,
That's
all
the
right.
whole
Well,
play.
it does have a Jewish character and a black character, but we never see either of them.
That's true, but the
So,
those
'cause
she's not even. She's not even.
They're on the other side
Yes.
of the stage.
Yes, but she's not even just black. She's mixed. She's black and Vietnamese, and
Right.
it's totally other.
Now, why don't we put her into the context?
Let's put her into the play. Yes.
There is
What's the play
this
about?
man played Curtis Greg Elderman.
Greg
Edelman,
Edelman has
excuse
done
me.
so many of these wonderful musicals.
Yes, and his son is about to get married, and he is visited by the spirit of his father, beautifully played by
done.
Daniel Davis.
Beautifully
And
done.
Dad is here to give him dressing advice because, as it turns out, he is wearing his father's tuxedo, and he is getting ready for his son's bridal dinner, rehearsal dinner. That's the thing. They get into what it's called. Is it a tuxedo or a dinner
Well,
jacket?
Dad's there to
Or
give him advice
dinner-
on everything. It isn't
dinner
just
jacket.
it isn't just dressing advice, but it's how to run a wedding and
Yes.
how to be with the bride and how to dance and what shoes to wear.
And eventually,
Everything.
and the guy seems like the quintessential WASP, circa from the 40s and the 50s.
right out of Mad Men.
Yes.
He's like a character right out of Mad Men.
No, not really, because the characters in Mad Men are really not that waspish. They're mostly white.
Oh, okay. Well, he's
And well, maybe they are waspish, but they're not waspish. Most of them.
okay.
Most of them are not.
Okay.
But we'll get into Mad Men some other time.
Okay. Well, I know you have a relationship.
And there will be there will be revelations in this show too. Very small ones, like for example, the son is marrying a girl who's part black, part this, part that. She's like this. She's a one-woman rainbow coalition,
right.
and that her ex-boyfriend, or excuse me, her ex-husband, who is now gay and a comedian, wants to perform, so the father and the family will not be able to give their toasts. I mean, it's little things.
That's basically the entire
Yeah.
thing around which it resolves.
It's how to plan. It's not this life changing. It's, well, shall we follow the tradition, and where do we compromise? Where do we not? And a couple, one or two revelations about the family's past. Nothing ground shaking.
I have to
per
say
se.
that's where it lost me. I was enjoying the relationships and the way these people interacted with each other, because the wife was kind of long-suffering, the wife of the younger man, and put up with a lot of stuff.
In other words, the mother.
The mother.
Yes,
well,
yes.
the younger man's wife and
Right.
the mother of the young man who was about to get married.
Right.
And put up with the idea that she heard all of this stuff that the father was always saying, although she didn't realize that he was in the room, physically in the room. Only the
Right.
son could see him. But
There is some
the
resentment.
the big revelation, which is that the girl is neither a WASP nor anybody that anybody knows, but all these mixtures and whatnot. What happened to me was the offstage character became the most intriguing character because she had a personality. we never got to
She
see
did?
her. Well, we never got to see her, but she comes in and she tells, the son comes up and says, she wants this and she wants that and she doesn't want this and she doesn't want that. And everybody sort of goes, whoa, because he's going to do everything she wants. And you suddenly realize that that's going to be a very different kind of marriage.
This is why they call it a bridal shower.
I guess. But it's going to be a very different kind of marriage than their traditional marriage where the husband speaks and the wife has her ideas. And this wife is going to really rule the roost in this particular home.
We'll
and
see.
nobody speaks about that. That they let slide. So I thought about that afterwards. I didn't think about it while the play was
I
going
think
on.
I think at some point he may assert himself a little
Well, you
more.
can't decide
we
that.
Don't. No, you can't. But I don't think from this you can, because again, remember, the wedding is the bride's party.
No, it's not just about the wedding though. The way she was talking about what she wants and how she wants it told you how they were going to be together. I mean, that's how I picked up on it.
Maybe.
I was going,
We'll see.
that's a play I would have liked to have seen.
And maybe you
It's Act
will.
2, is what happens.
And maybe you will.
But it was a one-act play, 90-something minutes, and
Mhm.
so that part never happened. Very nicely directed by Mark Lamos.
Yes.
Set in a very, very crummy-looking upstate. We've all been in one of those motels along the road somewhere. Very, with a little moose head on the wall kind of thing. Very.
Well, we didn't actually see any moose heads.
Well, there were horns of some kind.
I
Yeah,
didn't
there was
see that.
Little horn to the
Okay.
right, up above. Yeah.
Okay.
It had a woodsy kind of.
Oh, that it definitely did.
You know,
Yes,
so-
but I didn't notice any
I did.
heads. But
It wasn't a whole
that
head. It was just
that would have made it more appropriate to the WASP characters.
Just the
because,
antlers
you would
without
think,
the head,
in
yeah.
the country house that they would have
Yeah.
that they had shot themselves.
No, but it wasn't their house. They were in a motel.
Yes,
so,
yes.
okay.
Okay.
It wasn't.
But all in all, this was a very enjoyable
It was
evening.
it went by quickly and it was
Yes.
enjoyable.
It was
Certainly
it was
much more so than Desert City.
It was a lot of fun. Oh
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
which was perhaps more ambitious
Very
in
much
the
so.
idea,
Oh, much.
but
Much.
never didn't even come close. Didn't make it.
Yeah, I